January 21st, 2021. I was sitting in a Taco Bell drive-thru while I wait for my friend who really wanted tacos. I believe it was a Friday night, and that's why we were stuck there for 15 minutes or so. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why don't I play Pokemon Go? Is there a reason I'm not actually playing it? I never even gave it a fair chance. And this thought didn't just come out of nowhere. He had been showing me some things about the game, how it works, PvE, PvP, the stat screen, moves. I didn't understand the moves at first, and that kind of deterred me a little, but I was willing to give it a chance. And I did. I had gone home that night, and at about, 2 a.m., I created my account with the intention of, I am going to get from level 1 to 50 in 1 year. I will complete the Pokedex in 1 year. In hindsight, this is absurd. And spoiler alert, did I do it? Of course I didn't do it. On this day of the release, I am level 43. Every person I've talked to about starting up the game, friends, people I've met playing the game, they all ask me the same thing when they hear how long I've been playing, and it's always the same question. Jesus, how many hours a day do you play Pokemon? It's nowhere near what people think. And any given day, I can play from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. It just depends on what's going on with the current event, whatever happens to be the wild Pokemon outside. And that's really all you have to do. You don't have to sink as much time into it as people think. Yes, I said an hour and a half a day, but let's go and be real here. How often are people pulling out their phones to check Facebook or Reddit or whatever, just when they're standing around? That's all you gotta do. You pop a muffin, English muffin, in the toaster. You go over there. You spend some time on your phone. You break out the phone. You spend some time on. You scroll through, catch whatever's around. Just it's real quick, easy thing. You just catch it. The toaster pops. My toaster has a very specific sound. Each muffin, go on about your day. 45 minutes, hour later, when you think about it, you just whip it back out, scroll through. Yeah, all right, cool. Call what I want. Done. It's that easy. You don't have to spend that much time doing it. So, full-on disclaimer. Going into this game, right off the bat, yes, I did spend some real-world money. I spent $20 because I figured if I'm going to give this game a try, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a real try. And so, the first thing I did was upgrade my item space and Pokemon storage. Those are two very important things that I recommend that anybody upgrade if they can. Throw $5. It just, right from the start, it matters so much. And I really just want to point that out because I'm going to claim to be free to play later, and I've been told you can't be free to play if you threw money at the game. And I say, who cares? It's a game. Shut up. Give it a zoom.
Tip number 1, upgrade your space.
Focus on your bag space. You got to get Pokemon storage and item storage up because the amount they start you with is piddly. It's pathetic. It's horrible. Upgrade that stuff. I upgraded that stuff immediately. That was kind of the reason I put $20 into it, because I didn't know how to get coins yet, and I'm just like, okay, I see the storage, just okay, fine, I'll do it. And then later on, I might have spent some more, but the important thing is, you don't have to spend money on this game, but I highly recommend if you could, you're a new player, maybe you're a returning player, and your bag space is very limited, throw $5 at it, $10, something at the game. If it's really bothering you, it makes a hell of a difference. It is so worth it. Just upgrade it a little bit.
Number 2, do your dailies.
The most important thing I would recommend for everyone, and even casuals don't have to go out of their way to do this, is make sure you do your daily stuff. Go out, spin a stop, and catch a Pokemon. Get those 7-day streaks going, because the benefits at the end of them, a lot of stuff. You get a lot of balls, some berries, you even get egg. I want to say you can get an incubator, but probably, I don't think so, actually. 7-day streak, spinning stop, catching a daily Pokemon, doing your daily research, the field research, the middle tab. At the end of 7-day streak, you get to catch a Pokemon, and it's usually related to something going on in the events. Open every gift you can, because you get so many items out of it, and you get friendship level with them. I'll get more into that later because that is very important. And send as many gifts as you can as well. Takes about 10 minutes if you focus. Just do it all at once. It's real easy. It's not that much of a pain. And you will benefit greatly. So with that said, I want to get into what I feel is probably the most useful tip I can give to any player, either new or returning. You played from the beginning, doesn't matter. It helps everybody.
Number 3, you make friends.
Go to SwapMyFriendCode.gov. Not a real website. Simply copy paste, and if you have iPhone like I do, tell it, no, I don't want to call this number every time that pops up. Go over and send it. Takes no time at all, really. Here's what I did. I went and I watched TV while I was doing this. I watched one episode of Family Guy. I'd put on something brainless, something you don't have to pay attention to. Like if you put on Squid Game, you gotta kind of pay attention even if you're not reading. I mean, just put on something dumb and mindless in the background and just go through and just copy, paste, send. Or if you have 2 phones or a laptop, you can be sitting there and you can use the QR scanner, and that does speed it up. Copy these, send the friend requests out there to all these players, walk away, go do dishes or something, do some chores, come back later. Give it an hour or so, you'll come back and you'll scroll through and you'll see you have 40, 50, 60 new friends. And you know, good chunk of them have already sent you some gifts. Most of them, I would say about 40, 60. Most don't. But that's okay. By doing this, you amass a friends list of players from around the world, and this is going to help you a lot because it's going to get you gifts. Most importantly, you're going to be able to never run out of balls or berries, but it's also going to give you the potential raid invites from, say, Brazil or Taiwan. That's one of the nicest things. I have Pokemon from all around the world simply because I went to this site and I swapped friend codes with them, and now I get invites round the clock. This is only one of the perks, by the way. The biggest perk of having all of these new friends is when we go in there and we open all these gifts from these brand new friends. That's 3,000 experience per. And all you had to do was sit there with not even pay attention to TV, just copy, paste, whatever. Who cares? By going through and adding these people, they're going to keep sending you gifts. A lot of them are going to drop off. It's only natural. I go through and I will do this probably once a month. I just add a new batch of people and then I clean out the rest that didn't really send any gifts or stopped opening my gifts. Go through and you're going to get 3,000 for every level 1. Over time, you're going to continue to send and receive gifts from these people. 7 days will get you to level 2. That will get you 10,000 experience, which is nothing to scoff at. Keep building it up. For 30 days, you're going to get 50k. 50,000 experience. Here's what you want to do to really maximize that experience. You could do this with level 2 as well, but I don't recommend it because I don't feel it's worth the lucky egg. I go for level 3 and 4. Level 3 takes 30 days. So you sit there and send gifts, receive gifts. Make sure you open them every day with them, and the active players will do the same. 4 days, 3 days between the two of you before you hit that level 3. That's when I stop opening their gifts and I start just sending them gifts, because they're hopefully going to keep opening it. And once we hit the 2-day mark, you'll notice some players will kind of lock you in a bit of a stalemate where neither person wants to advance because we both want to bank on that 50k experience available at level 3. And this is fine. I concede because it's not that big of a deal. It's a game. Let them have it. You still get 50k. It's nothing to laugh at. But I go through and I save all these and I get to the point where they open a gift and now it's 1 day left and I'm the only person between the two with a gift. You could argue that this is not really good for your friends list because you're going to make them wait, and that's kind of a crappy thing to do. But once I have about, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe 15 people in that 1 day left range, I will go and I will use a lucky egg, open all those gifts, and then just let the 50Ks roll in. But with the lucky egg, it's 100k per. By taking the 10 minutes a day to just make sure that you open and send all the gifts between these people, once you get to 1 day remaining of the 30-day timer, you use a lucky egg, open all those gifts, roll in all that experience, get, I don't know, 1.2, 1.4 million. That puts you right up there in the high 20s. From level 1, that would put you in the high 20s.
Number 4, you gotta be excellent.
Every single time that I go in to catch a Pokemon, this is, I feel, very easy to do and something everybody should be trying to do. Every time I go in to catch a Pokemon, if I'm not landing an excellent throw on that thing, it was a bad throw in my book. Every single excellent throw gets you 1,000 experience, and if you did your first ball and you curve it, you get 1170. I've seen 1170 pop up many times. That's one of the best ways you could be getting experience. When you break it out, you're standing around, you break it out like I was saying earlier, and you catch the Pikachu, the Geodude, and the Roselia, whatever. Let's say one was nice and two were excellent. 2,500 experience easy.
Number 5, your berries.
Make sure you're utilizing your berries in some way. A lot of players like to use the raspberries to catch. I know some players even use the banana ones. I don't even know what they're called. I never use them. My berry usage is pin-app for everything that I want to catch, and that's it. The bananas and the raz, they go to gyms. I feed Pokemon that I leave on gyms. I feed them a bunch of those. Good way to get some Stardust, and 1 in 50, you can get a candy for the Pokemon you feed. It does pop up. It's rare, but it does pop up. I then take my silver pin-app berries, and those I use on specific legends that I hope to catch, and I really want to get that extra candy. The golden raspberries I also use to catch legendaries, and I prefer to use the golden raz for my buddies, but I'll deep dive in that later on. And by the way, I don't care what anybody says, pin-app berry, best berry. Yeah, I'm aware silver pin-app berry is technically better outright, but you have to factor in pin-app berries are easy to acquire. Silver pin-app berries, on the other hand.
Number 6,
you gotta name your Pokemon. So now we caught our Pokemon, the first thing you go do is you check its stats, right? I noticed early on, watching my friend, as he's trying to show me the game and tell me all the things about it, he's sitting there and he's got his phone and he's showing me, he's like, yeah, I got this one's good, and he keeps showing me this, and he praises everyone, which made me think, there's gotta be a way, instead of checking it over and over and over again. So I named them their stats. Naming your Pokemon their stats means you appraise it, name it, bam! Now from the screen, just scroll through your entire roster, you can see their stats. You know if they're good or bad. Here's the thing I understand with a lot of players is this tip is great if you're new and you have no Pokemon, because you just, okay, we just start naming them. But for people who've been playing for a while, they've played this before and they have some Pokemon already. Now you're gonna go through and you scroll through, and let's say you have 453 Pokemon. You're gonna rename every one of them? Yeah, because I did that. I don't know how many Pokemon I had, but I went through and I renamed every one of them, and it was a great opportunity to clean out any Pokemon I didn't want to keep anymore, Pokemon that got lost in the shuffle, like just somehow I kept a bad Spearow, I don't know. But it gave me a chance to throw them away. It also gave me a chance to really prioritize which ones I want to focus on, because now, not only is it like I have, sure, like 3 decent to good Geodudes, which of those do I want to keep, and I can make a decision as to which one, toss the other. But I am telling you, it is totally worth it. Name your Pokemon their stats. Along those lines, you can also take letters like I use for raids. I put R at the beginning of all my Pokemon's names. I put an R. R dot if they're my buddy. B dot. Maybe they're a regional Pokemon that I want to drop on gyms to kind of show off. Those I give a G dot. Just hit the letter, the dot, bam, there they are. It's really quick and easy to do it. The problem is going through and doing it. I also have seen a lot of people use outside apps where they take a screenshot and it kind of like evaluates the screenshot so you can see how good this is, and it'll give you a percentage, and then it will give you the name. You can copy and paste it, and that's fine and dandy and all. I've looked into those. I personally don't like those too much, but they do exist, and they are okay if you want to do that. I will actually go to CheckMyStats.net and type it in there, link in description, of course, and I evaluate my Pokemon based on this. Rename your Pokemon, I feel, is like a very useful tool, because they give us this ability to change it to whatever we want, use as many characters as you can, get all the descriptors you can in there. And it's a weird, clunky system, I'm aware, but you know, the system they provided us was not much better. Tags. I used tags for a good amount of time. The problem is tags were not ideal because it was simply type in the whole tag or go over to the side where there's the list of tags, and I didn't like that so much. I wanted to be able to just like 2 character, bam, there it is. Hence the B dot, R dot, G dot.
Hell, I don't know, tip 6.5, I suppose.
On that, here's another thing that I really recommend that any player does. Work on your buddy a little bit. Get a couple Pokemon where they're always your buddy and get them to at least level 2. because then they'll learn catch assist. Catch assist doesn't seem like much because they don't give us any hard information as like percentages, but when you throw a ball at a Pokemon and it sometimes slaps it away, I think you get like a 20% chance that they'll smack it back at you, and your little buddy will bop his little head in there, and then it will not dodge it or smack it away again. It will whatever. I haven't quite figured out if the ring continues to move as the ball comes back. But catch assist is a very useful thing to have, especially when you go and say get invited to, I don't know, a Dialga raid. They will smack that thing away so often. Having catch assist does make a difference. Yeah, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No. Okay, so you want to get catch assist on your buddy. You're going to need to get to level 2. That's going to be 70 hearts. 70 hearts is not that bad. Kind of easy. You just have to know what to do, and they don't really explain it much in the game. All we get is the little tiny face icon. Doesn't help much. You can get up to 20 hearts per day. All you have to do is you go in Pokemon Go, take your buddy, feed him, play with him, take a picture, set a timer, half an hour, walk around, go about your day, do whatever. When your timer goes off, you go back, get your buddy out, feed him a berry, take a picture, play with him. You don't get hearts for play with him and picture again. And feeding it a berry is, sometimes it's fickle. I haven't figured it out yet, because most of the time I feel like I should be getting it, and I don't get it, and sometimes I do, and when I'm like, whatever, I don't know what's happening. Do that, set a timer, 28 minutes, go about your day. Timer goes off, you come back, do it again. Picture, feed him, play with him. You're going to do this, set a timer. At this point, I like to get a battle in there. What you're doing is every half hour, you're accumulating points in the background. Once you hit 32, your buddy will become overly excited, and that will trigger a Poffin-like status without ever using a Poffin. If you walk 2 kilometers with your buddy, you get 3 points. If you open a gift from your buddy, you get 3 points. If you visit a stop or a gym that your buddy recommended, 3 points. If you go and do a training battle, or feed it, or picture, play with it, 1 point each. Once you get to the 32-point threshold, you will trigger the Poffin status, where you can then gain 6 hearts for walking, you can gain 6 hearts for battles, 2 hearts for snapshot, 2 hearts for playing, go back in, do it again, claim your hearts, you're good for the day. Now, I do have to point out that there is a cooldown on these things. You will lose 1 point for every half hour of inactivity. Not a big deal. Just keep it in mind that if you do get the Poffin status and maybe 45 minutes later it's already gone, give your buddy a treat. You'll get it back. Simply by going through and doing this, all you have to do, 4 days, and your buddy will be level 2. No problem at all. Let's also not forget to mention that once you gain the Poffin status, you gain candy twice as fast while walking. Tip number 7, Pokemon movesets. Let's take a look at Machamp here. He's a personal favorite of mine in the game because he does some solid damage. We're going to focus primarily right now on the moveset. The quick attacks, we have Bullet Punch, Counter, and Karate Chop. Over here, this is the damage. This is what we see in game. This is what it tells us is the damage. Over here we have our EPS and DPS. Whoa. We have our EPS and we have our DPS. Now, we don't get to see any of this information in the game. Niantic, seriously, that is frustrating, and it would be greatly appreciated by all players. Casuals and experts, everyone in between, we would all appreciate if we could get some kind of information like this on the stat screen. I'll even draw it up for you. Taking a look at this, we have the EPS. This is the energy per second. You can quote me on that, but I wouldn't. And we have the DPS, which is damage per second. The moves highlighted in green benefit from the same type attack bonus, stab, and deal 20% more damage. So we have that to factor in, but that's where we have our DPS. Looking over here, it's between highest DPS of Counter or highest EPS of Karate Chop. I will take Karate Chop any day of the week because your EPS is what makes your charge attacks happen sooner. Looking down here, Cross Chop is huge. I'm pretty sure every Machamp out there uses Cross Chop because it's quick, it does 40 damage, or 50 damage, it's 40 DPS, 30, what is that? Yeah, 33.3 EPS. So I believe that means
three karate chops, and you can cross chop.
And then this part's not super relevant, but my other attack would probably be Heavy Slam on Machamp. So we take that information, and then we combine it with Rocket Grunts. Specifically, Rocket Grunts will always give you some kind of hint as to what type they're going to use. So if they point out something about rock and roll or whatever, I don't know, you throw in a water guy and 2 grass guys, all have high EPS quick attacks and quick charge attacks, you're going to have no problem. What is... That's quick attack, and that's the charge attack.
Tip number 8, Pokemon tools.
Walking your Pokemon is an important job that no trainer should neglect. Their Tamagotchi times a number higher than a number than I can even comprehend. I mean, you gotta walk your pets, you gotta walk your dog. He wants to get out and run around. I mean, look at me. Do I walk? Frequently. Just not in the colder months, which, where I live, is 46 out of the 52 weeks of the year. Wouldn't it be great to be able to rack up the kilometers by being a lazy shit? Bam! Look at this guy. This guy is insane. And this cost me roughly $12. You stick your phone in this device, which appears to have come out of a game of Mousetrap. You just plug it in, and you're walking. This thing makes getting candy and all of the hearts very quick and easy. I got mine on eBay. I'm sure Amazon is just as cheap, and it works quite nicely. 4 out of 5 Pokeballs! While we're on the subject, if you want to be the best, like no one ever was, this little headache, I love this thing. Most of the time, when this guy works, it'll catch Pokemon and spin stops for you while you're walking, or better yet, driving. Mine was about $35. It came used, it had no instructions, no packaging. It had a charging cable, which, by the way, is a very unique cable, so you don't want to lose that. It plugs into these 2 little prongs at the bottom, but for $35, that's a pretty good deal. Now the thing is, I see these things fluctuate. I've seen them as high as $90. So just sit back and be patient. You'll find one for a good price. The second condition is this thing is a nightmare to learn how to operate. I struggled to figure it out as it did not come with the instructions of any kind, and Google was no help. The best I could figure out is this thing will either catch exclusively new Pokemon or all of them available, spin stops for you unless there's something to catch, a rock, oh, vibration, and the connectivity. Typically the problem I experience the most is a lack of charging. Something you'll never be too sure of is its battery level, as there's nothing on screen to show you until you plug it in. That said, I do always take this thing with me whenever I have to drive anywhere, and with zero effort, this little guy can collect random shiny Pokemon from the corner of Taco Bell, 7-Eleven, and the other 7-Eleven. This is by far definitely worth what I paid, and I highly recommend it, or any other catch assisting device.
Wow, those sound like some useful tools. I'd definitely pay big bucks for those. But you know, something that I learned recently was actually that there's another thing about having best friends.
So apparently, there's a thing called lucky friends. What happens is, you go through, you get level 1, 2, 3, 4, all of it. All that with them. And then, after that, you think, okay, well, there's no more experience to be had, so that's it. At least that's what I thought. Turns out, no. There's a chance of having lucky friends when you're best friends with somebody. When you are a lucky friend with somebody, the next trade you make will result in both becoming lucky Pokemon. This is massive to me. You have attempt per day. I'm going to assume that means 1. You have 1 attempt per day at becoming lucky friends by performing one of the following actions: opening a gift, teaming up in raids or gym battles, or engaging in a trainer battle. If successful, the game will notify you that you are now lucky friends. It will say so on your friends listing, and once the trade is completed, you will turn to being regular best friends. Other things to know about lucky friends includes, you can become lucky friends with a best friend more than once, though not more than once per day. Very nice to know. The chances of becoming lucky friends, at least in the early stages, appear to be around 5%. Lucky Friend status seems to last for as long as you next trade, so feel free to continue sending and receiving gifts or engaging in trainer battles until you next meet up and can trade. It does not expire that day. lucky trades or lucky friends for trades guaranteed to lucky. You do that, and then that's what you do with all your random bulk shinies that don't mean anything, I suppose. You wait until you find a friend who has a shiny you want, they're willing to give up. You have a shiny they want, and bow. I have several ideas, suggestions, and whatnot that Niantic probably wouldn't be interested in hearing. But I do have many thoughts about how the game could be improved. And one of them, I felt, was a way of taking all your items and putting a filter on them. So when you go to a stop or a gym and you spin it, I'm sure a lot of players are like me. Doesn't matter your level so much, but once you get into mid-20s to anything higher, potions just don't have as much usefulness anymore. So we toss them. I toss them. I toss all of them. I don't ever use potions. Super potions, I toss those too. How about we get something where we can make it so that, yes, those are there, and then they automatically get thrown out? Or, better yet, they're not even added to your bag. Spin the stop, and then they just pop up, but they're not added to the bag. Easy enough to me. And you can go into your settings and change this at any time. So you can make it so you never pick up potions, super potions, max potions, revives if you felt the need. Just do this with every item available. Or here's something we can do. If we can't filter our items so that we don't pick up potions that we don't want anymore, how about this? When a new player comes along and they're not as experienced, they don't know where to get the items like I would, how about we make it so that we can trade items? I have a sister who started playing not too long ago, and one of the things I would have loved to do, instead of having my 500 Pokeballs that I don't need, I would have loved to be able to just go, here's 100, just like that. That would have been really nice. Instead, I threw them away because I don't need 500 Pokeballs. Something else I would really like to see is, how about those items, we make it so we can customize how many we can carry. So, let's say I do end up having 500 Pokeballs. Maybe I'll turn that down and so that I'll have maximum 300 Pokeballs. And then anytime I pick up one beyond 300, the game will just throw it away for me. Max 300. Sounds like a great option to me. Because I picture it, you're driving. You're not even driving. You're on the bus. You're riding the bus through a busy part of a city, and you look at the screen and, oh, there's 4 stops coming up. There's 4 stops coming up, and I can hit all 4. You go, you spin one, there's some items. You spin another, bags full. Gotta go to item management, throw them away. Well, now by the time we're done, the stops are back there because the bus driver kept going. They're not gonna stop for you to spin a stop. They're looking for other stops. A super minor thing that I would actually like to see is on a friends list, where we have in the section of every one of their little profile, it says 2+ days ago. That's useless to me. Can we turn that into something where it says the last date that the player logged in months and months ago? I want to see when they logged in last, because if I have friends that have stopped playing for one reason or another, that's precious. That's some precious space on my friends list. I want to be able to know if they're not playing anymore, I'm going to take them off. I am a fan of stats. Stat screens of all kinds, where you can see wins, losses, fails of whatever kind, any stat at all, because it's interesting to me to be able to see how much time and effort and what you've done in your games. If we could have more stats added into our character's profile, things like missed throws, total excellent throws, great throws, nice throws, how many buddy assists have you had? How many buddy catch assists have you had? Hey, it's me from the future, but only from the recording. And now, at the time of editing, the present. But now that you're watching, the past. I'm here because I forgot one important detail, something that I'm very annoyed with in the whole not having many stats things. Why is it that the only way that I can see how many battles I have won is by going into a raid and hitting my own character avatar. Why is it that I can see this if I have a secondary account, which I do? I can see it by looking at my character, my main, from that screen, and yet when I'm on my own character's screen, I and nobody else can see how many battles we've won. Speaking of the catch assist, just can we make it so that when you get a catch assist and you catch the Pokemon, can we get like 25 bonus experience? 25 is nothing. At level 43, I need 11 million to get to 44. 25 is nothing. But you know, it gives just a little bit more incentive for some players to go and get that level 2 buddy so that they have catch assist. Because apparently catch assist isn't enough for some people. Here's an idea for some Pokemon storage. How about we have a Pokemon Center? They're very rare. They're very difficult to get because my understanding is you nominate a location, it becomes a stop. If that stop is popular enough, it becomes a gym. Could be wrong on that. What does the center do? I'm glad you asked. It'll provide players with a location where they can take their Pokemon and get full heal, up to 10 Pokemon once a week. Not a big deal so far. But then we have a PC function where we can access cloud storage, where we can throw a couple Pokemon into some storage up there. For the players who don't have a ton of storage, or the players who don't have a Switch to connect to transfer, or a home account on their phone, any reason at all. How about cloud storage? Maybe, you know, it'd be incredible and probably a terrible idea if we could wonder trade. Oh, if you could wonder trade in this game. That's probably too advanced to do. We can't even trade with people that are 5 miles away from us. Can we? What's the limit? 10 miles? Personally, I would actually be very happy to see a subscription service. How about $3.99 a month? What this does for you is this is what would be the Pokemon Center, the storage for the cloud. You could add that in there. But let's add a lot of simple things, like, you know how you go to a gym and you spin it and you get 1 free raid pass a day if you don't already have one? Why not 2? For all subscription service players. I don't want to say subscribed players. That makes it sound like Pokemon Go's a YouTube channel. Subscribers can also earn up to 100 coins a day. Maybe subscribers once a week could get a free incubator out of the shop on holidays. You could have the shop do discounts for, say, I don't know, the beginning of summer. Well, people are going to be out and about more often. Why don't we for like 1 week, maybe 2 weeks out of the summer, we take the 3-pack remote raid passes, and instead of 150 coins, how much is it for 3? I don't even remember. I haven't bought remote raid passes in a long time. Instead of doing that, just make it like 10% off. That's not a lot to ask, and we'd get so much more out of our coins. All of these suggestions are really just me and my friends and what we thought up as we were playing and how the game would be a little bit more convenient and whatnot. And I've had other suggestions thrown at me, like maybe you could sell items for coins. And then I thought about that for 5 seconds or so, thinking if you did that, then coins suddenly lose their value. Inflation. Maybe not inflation. Maybe that's not the right word. Here's one that I would really like. Can we get some kind of update where your Pokemon's name is however many characters it is? I think it's like 10 right now. Can we make it 15? Because I'm having a hard time naming my Pokemon with such little characters when I'm trying to convey so much information on the roster. Again, Niantic, any of these suggestions, if you're at all interested, somebody, get back to me, and I'd be happy to draw it up and go into further detail, and we can discuss, because these are only a few, these are only a handful of the ideas that I've had, and I have plenty more. This is the end of a really long video. Playing Pokemon Go for 1 year, I had a hell of a good time, and I actually did a lot better than I thought I was going to once I realized that my initial goals were ridiculous. Seeing as how, in order to get level 50, you need to collect, just in experience, 176 million, along with all the level requirements that there are involved in each one. It's really not that bad. In the end, after dedicating 1 year to playing Pokemon Go, I got to level 43 with a grand total of 45,255,803 experience, for an average of just shy of 124,000 per day. Walked 2,622.2 Kims, Dex entries 682, caught, seen 692. 26,397 Pokemon in total caught, 6,167 stops spun, with a start date of January 21st, 2021, 1 full year, done. The question really now is what do I do?
You know what? I like that better. I like that one better.